office hours tips of the week. Today, we're going to go over a specific topic, and then we're going to open it up to the Q&A section of it. Today, we are going to be inspired by a recent talk we had with Sarah Chan, who is copyright master. And the conversation we had was to not rely so heavily on AI that your content becomes white noise, that people can see the dashes and the emojis and all the phrases, to be honest, or what people aren't telling you, and all these other phrases that we can easily sniff out with the AI. Once you start using that so heavily, your email open rates and the content you create is gonna start dwindling. People can tell. And even if the content's great from AI, I think people are getting a little bit of a backlash. I think people are slowly just putting more credit into the content that humans write and can be clearly customized. Because if you're putting in the work, I think you get a little more respect. I think you get a little more attention when people see you're doing the labor. You're not just throwing a prompt into the AI and just letting it spit out whatever and copy and pasting it. And it's becoming more and more clear when people can tell that it's AI driven. So what I want to do is have that conversation. And if you didn't catch that episode with Sarah, it's definitely in the podcast. So go back and watch that one. It was a really good one. I want to take that conversation into the email lessons that I teach with the Live Local. The open rates I have is traditionally very high. And it's because of what we put in these. I know the open rate's not the end all be all for everybody. However, it is a pretty decent indicator that what you're putting into your emails and the attention you're getting from your audience is strong if the open rates are pretty high, like we are experiencing. So here's a few things that I like to teach. So firstly, be sure that the content you put in these emails, anyone can use. You're not just going to have an email selling your products, selling your services, right? Because the odds that somebody's buying that thing that you're doing every Friday is next to none. So what you want to do instead is you want to have information that they will need. And that's key. It may not necessarily align directly with what you're selling or what your business is, but the values will always line up. So if you have, like, say, I'm always going to push local stuff. So if you have local events or if you're featuring a local business owner, those things align with the values of your business, and it'll continue to have higher open rates because people in your audience will want to know what's happening this weekend. I always do a Friday bulletin board, and on that I have 3 to 5 events that are happening that weekend, so people don't have to, especially if they're busy, don't have to roll through Facebook or go through whatever to try to find out what's going on. They can use the email every week and see 3 or 5 things that are happening near us, and that contributes to the open rates. Or a local business owner, they enjoy seeing where the next food truck is and how to get a hold of them and go try out their food. Or if the local charity is doing an event this coming weekend, or if the children's theater's got a play coming up. I always tell you that you want to be the town hall. There, your email should be the town hall, and people can come get their information from you every Friday in the email, and be consistent. Try to get it at a specific time if you can. If you're a morning person, try to be in the morning at some point. If you're an afternoon person, be an afternoon person. But at least once a week. And I always do Fridays. I often do Wednesdays too. But pick your time. Make that email every Friday and be the town hall. What do the people in your area need to know to be a better citizen? To what's going on around them. Once you start becoming that person, your open rates will increase quite a bit. Another thing that I teach is make sure you're keeping it short and to the point. We don't need huge rambling stories or tons of over communication, or it doesn't have to be Beowulf, right? You're not going to an entire play or an entire story, or it's going to be right to the point. It's going to be, they should be able to digest that thing in a minute and a half. So they know that it's going to be localized, right? They know it's going to be, you're going to be the town hall telling them the things they need to know, and they know they can read it very quickly. Those are the two things that help contribute to that high open rate. And then I'm going to slightly be a hypocrite at the last part here. I'm going to say, once you've formally created that email, once it's all done, then you run it through AI. Not let AI write it for you. Run it through AI after. And I want you to use the prompt along the lines of, hey, read this email. I want you to word it or change the phrasing so that way it doesn't show up in the spam box of the recipients. Give it a little scenario. Like I send out an email every week to my client base, and here it is. And I want you to reword it to keep it out of spam. That actually works. I don't need it writing the entire thing for me. And even sometimes after I get AI to do that for me, I'll even ask, like, all right, so what did you change in that to make it spam less friendly? Spam less. I made up that word. Spam less friendly. And it'll tell you, oh, we put this phrase in, we put that phrase in, you had too many hyperlinks. It'll tell you the things that you need, and that actually works really well. If it changes the tone or changes the way it sounds, you don't have to take it word for word, but it'll go through, it'll change it up, it'll make it a little more easy to get into the regular inbox of your recipients. And that definitely helps too. So there you go. I told you today it was going to be nice and quick. It'll be nice and easy. It'll be very strategic and very helpful. One, be the town hall. Make sure those emails have the things that people need to know about the area, about the people in your area. That's first. Two, keep it short and to the point so that way they can read it under 2 minutes. And then three, try to run through AI and word it so that way it doesn't end up in a spam folder. Those are three very easy things you can do for your next email to increase the open rates. And then you have to have the consistency, right? So you take those three strategies, you employ it over and over and over again, and you'll see your open rates starting to climb. You'll see them going up. You'll see people engaging. Sometimes I'll even ask, like, hey, if you have any of your events going on this weekend, let me know. I'll put it on social media. Things like that will also help, or you get a little bit of engagement. I tend not to get a ton of engagement emails, to be honest with you, but I do get really high open rates. And when I bump into people like, hey, I read your email every week, it happens. And it happens because of those three easy adjustments you can make to your own email. So there you go. Super easy, super local. And it's part of the framework that we teach with Live Local. So now, before we head into the questions, be sure you head over to the website, livelocalwarmmarketing.com. Try the 5-day challenge. Just under 10 minutes a day, you can change the trajectory of your business, recession proof it, make the connections and the referrals that you need to run your business, and stop relying on third parties and cold leads who dictate the size of your business. If you're staying awake every night worrying about where those next leads are coming from, this is a way to recession proof it. So there you go. Head to livelocalwarmmarketing.com. Now let's get into our questions. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you found this information helpful. Each week, I'll pick a different topic I see happening out in the world of marketing and go over it with you to help you become a better warm marketer. Now, you noticed in this episode, we cut off the Q&A portion of it because that's for members only. To become a member, go to livelocalwarmmarketing.com. You can sign up for that first month using the code ALWAYSWINNING for $2. And then every Tuesday, you can bring your own personal marketing questions that we can answer and work on together. You'll also get access to the resource library. It has plenty of videos about more marketing tips, strategies, things to help you become a better marketer as well. We have monthly workshops. And of course, we have the weekly content calendar that's uploaded every Monday that takes one more thing off your plate because it gives you a theme and goes over the types of content you could be posting throughout the week. All of that for $2 in the first month. LiveLocal, warmmarketing.com. Become a member today.